Let's see, where could we... What would be an interesting white source? I'll just do from here right now, just to show you guys. So we know our light is coming from this direction, right? So, with that in mind, we know that everything that's closer to the center part right here, that's going to get the most light. Everything that's more fanned out or feathered away, that's going to get less light, right? And then the parts that she's like completely being obscured, she's completely obscuring the light, that's going to be like the darkest. Top left. So over here instead, right here. All right, we'll do top left. All right, so what I will do is, so this definitely takes some like practice and stuff to get right, but to like try to think of things in like a 3D space. So I know that if the light is coming from the top left over here onto her face and everything like that, right? I'm gonna explain this for right now, and then I'm just gonna jump in. For example, like this strand of her hair right here, right? Imagine this in a 3D space. So you see like this portion of it is coming out more, right? And this portion is more tucked. So if you think about it in terms of the lighting, this part would be closest to the light. So like this section here would be where the brightest of the light is. And this section here would be like where the least amount of the light is, alright? So just keep that in mind like when you're going through this. So I calculate all that junk in my mind. So what I'll do is, I know that the top of her head right here is more towards the light, so I'll actually like make a line and I will cut through the strand of her hair here and right here. So like everything that is within this section here is going to be darker. So just for now, to like show you guys, I'll like drop the bucket right there. Gonna lurk? Okay. Now, you know that like the light is right here, right? So this part of her hair is covering her face. So this portion will be more obscured from the light as well. So we're doing cell shading. We're not doing like ridiculous blending or anything like that. So I'm just going to keep it like really, really basic for you guys. So if I zoom in a little bit, you can see like there's a portion of the shadow on her hair here. And there's a portion on her face right here because it's underneath her hair. And then I'll also do the same right here and right here. It's like all these spots are like where her hair is like obscuring her face from light. Now if you look right here where her eyebrow is, it's like this is something that I do with my characters. So if you think about like where her eyelid is right here, this part is more tucked in, right? So it's more obscured from the light. So I'll actually cut through this a little bit like that as well. So I'll flip my canvas sometimes to go with the direction of my wrist. So something like that. And since her eyes are more tucked in and away from the light, the upper portion will be darker. Because that's where this sphere of the eye is like going inward, right? And this is like coming outward. And you can tuck a little bit down here because it's going back in. Just a little bit. And since the light is coming from this way over here, I'm not gonna have a lot of light on her cheek here, but what I am gonna do, since like her nose is right here, her nose is like obscuring that amount of light, right? Or that it's obscuring some of the light that's coming down. So I will actually like make like a little circle under her nose for the portion that's being obscured by the light. And I'll like curve it a little bit like that around to wrap around to the other side of her nose. Similar like that. And then now if you think about it like with the teeth, like your teeth are inside your mouth, hopefully, right? So a portion of your teeth are covered by your lips. So since her lips are covering that portion of her teeth, it's going to cast a bit of a shadow, right? A lot of this is like thinking about it in terms of like how it will look on you or something that you're looking at, or a person that you're looking at. And I'll also put a little bit of shading right here because that's like away from the light source that's coming down. And since her tongue is more inset in the back of her mouth, I'll do like a little circle out like that. And I'll like put this a little bit here because that's the furthest away. And then if you look where her mouth is right here, it's tucking a little bit in her cheek, so I'll put a little shadow here. So like wherever you have spots that are being obscured by light by something else, or if there's like something being tucked, keep in mind that there's going to be less light in that area, so that might be a potential spot for shadows. I'm back. Gonna lurk though while I eat. Okay, enjoy your meal. Again, over here, like this part of her eye is tucked in, right? So I'm gonna do something similar here. And just a little bit here as well. So like some of the complex like spikes and shapes that I'm doing right now are just like something you're gonna have to like learn as you go to like get a feel for like how different things would, how the light would morph and shape itself depending on what it's being cast on, if that makes sense. And I'm gonna put a little bit of the shading on her eye right here, because more of her eye is toward the light here, so we're gonna make it a little higher. And we'll put a little bit here, and we'll put a little more here since this is like more away. Now, for the cheeks, so this part of her face is more towards the light. So I usually leave this like open over here, and what I'll do is I'll start where the chin is, and I'll like cut like this shape up right here, up through the cheek. So as long as we're going with the contour curve of the cheek. Barto? Is that how you say your name? Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Hope you are well. So I'm just cleaning that up a little bit right there. And like her cheeks are going to be tucked a little more. So I'm going to actually put some shadow right here too. And probably a little bit over here. And since this cheek is a little more away from the light, I'll put just a little bit of the shadow will leach out right here. Right? And then I will actually fill in the rest of this right here. And then when I get to her ear, Cherry Skin Guard, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Hope you are well. So I will keep in mind that the light's coming from this direction, right? So I'll shade this side of the ear. then since this part of the ear is tucked inside, I'm gonna make that dark in there like that. So I'll shade inside right there. And this bit of her hair right here is coming out, so that's obscuring some of the light as well. So I'm gonna tuck that right there. I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit. Right here. So yeah, this is like basic, simple cell shading. So no problem, good stuff. Thank you. Yeah, to let you guys know, like I'm helping Homie right now with his shading. If you guys have any questions with any art related stuff, just let me know and I'll try my best to like go through one of these sessions to like show you what I do know. All I can do is relay information that I know, right? And like this is the back of her head here, so clearly that's away from the light, or that portion rather. So you see how it's starting to like take shape a little more now. Realistically, we probably could darken this a little more over here because it's like really away. So yeah, you have to like use your best judgment a lot of the time when you're doing like cartoon characters, or you could like, but like usually when you like study how like shadows like cast themselves on things, or how light casts itself on things, you sort of like get an organic feel for it, if that makes sense. You start thinking like, oh, okay, so I feel like the light would sit like this on the character. So like this part of her hair is like under, right? Because the light's coming from up here, remember? Same with this part. So we'll just follow the curve of the shape of the object, trying to keep in mind like that's how the light would fall on it. What about her ponytail? Look, I would get over there. You're rushing, man. You're not paying attention to the lesson. No, I'm kidding. So like one thing about this side right here, so see there's more of it away from the light. So I'm actually gonna like have the only amount of light being like a sliver of a triangle here. Sliver of a triangle there. I'll actually go up here. So the way I usually do my shading and stuff, I go all out because I use a clipping mask to like pull it back in later. So you don't have to like you can go all out here if you want to, as long as you got like inside of the drawing itself looks correct. You can like go all out here any kind of way you want to do. So if you use the clipping mask. I was just curious. No, I'm messing with you. What do I want to eat for the next? That's a really broad range question, dude. So for the ponytail, so if you look, this portion of her head will be obscuring the ponytail from a lot of the light, right? So we'll cut along here behind. I'm gonna flip my canvas a bit so I can like go with the curve of my wrist. It also gives you like a better idea of like shapes and stuff, so you're not just looking at the same thing over and over. So we got that portion of her, the portion of light that's being obscured by her head, right? Same here. These lines I put here, this is like a tuck, so I'm gonna like shade that a bit. And then this is the rest of the back of her head right here that's being obscured, so I'm gonna shade that. Now, her ponytail is more behind, so like a lot of this is actually going to be obscured by the light as well. I mean, by the back of her head as well. So what I'll do is, I'll figure out where I feel that the light would start to dip off at, which would probably be around here. So I'll like focus on this spike right here. So if I take it in slices, this little spike right here, or this little strand of hair. And I'll go up to represent that little dip right there, right? And then I'll start off thin. And then I'll make it thicker as I get more downward, right? There's more light up above than there is down below. So I'm going to make that thicker as we go downward. So like completely like block that out like that. And then I'll just do that where I'll just go around there and just like drop that color in like that. Something like that. So yeah, just feeling it out. A lot of this is like I do in gesturing as well too sometimes. And here's another spot that I think will have a little obscurity from light. So I won't make it like super prominent. The closer I get to the light, I'll just like, you have like little bits that like hide and stuff like that. So like for the rest of her hair, I'll keep the side thinner for the shadows and keep the side thicker right here, right? Because the thicker side has less light. And I'll obscure that more from light right there. Here as well, we'll do a little tuck here. A little tuck here. And since this part is more downward, we'll do a little more obscurity right here. And I'll actually shade her ear over here a little more because it's more obscure because of her hair. But yeah, that's basically how you do like the hair. And like, so a little thing I will do sometimes to like get the strands and stuff or the sense of it, I'll like make like these little hash lines like this. It's kind of like a stylistic choice that I do. So this isn't something that you have to do. Don't feel that way. It's just something that I like to do. And so like down here when we get to the lower part of her body, it looks cool. Yeah, this is a little thing I like to do. So you see like her chin and stuff would be covering a lot of more of you do that on just the hair? It depends. So sometimes it depends on like the material. So I will do that on certain clothes sometimes. Or if like if a character is beat up, or like if their face is like so. For example, I did that on Melody's face when she was like really mad. It's like if a character is really mad, and I want to convey like how serious and I want to convey how serious and like I'm going to kill you they are, if that makes sense. I will do a lot of the shading like that. I'm trying to find that picture. Actually, I think I'm gonna have to close my project, which is fine. Let me just save this real quick. Okay. Whoop. Sorry guys, hang on 1 second. There it is. So like for this one page right here, Like, I was trying to convey how, like, super serious she was. So you see, like, in her face, I did, like, that sketchy line look. So it really depends, you know? And I, like, do it around, like, her eyes and stuff like that. So yeah, if it sets the mood, you know. Could I get your opinion on my whip cartoon in the Discord? Yeah, I'll check it out in a little bit. Give me a little second. And let me finish up helping homie real quick. And I will gladly give you my opinion. But yeah, stuff like that. So like, if you see where her chin is, this is another spot I will also like obscure from light. I'll probably do it more in this direction. And I'll probably put some shading right here where her neck is, because that's away from the light as well. The strap of her t-shirt or tank top obscures a little bit. Underarm, where it tucks here, that's another spot where we would get like obscurity from the light. So like the majority of her shoulder is up here, is in the view of the light, so I'll actually like cut like in a curved shape here. And the rest of this behind would be dark. And similar like how I would handle her fists, like this. Probably like a good amount of her fist will probably be out of the view of the light right here. Fill that in, and then I'll like tuck this a little bit to like just to like emphasize the knuckles. And then like the creases of like her fingers and stuff like that would be shaded out. This portion here, because you know it's being tucked in, right? This is just like a really like high level. And then like you see this side of her breast is away from the light, so I'll actually curve that down like that. And you know, like majority, so like where her breasts tuck under right here, there will be a little light down here as well. And I could fill that in. Oops. Yeah, close your strokes. Then I'll like, if I didn't draw my curve right, I'll go back and like doctor it a little bit to make sure, because you know, drawing circles and curves are really difficult. There you go. Like if you look at this part of her, the strap of her shirt, that's also obscured. Like where her breasts tuck here, that's also obscured. Just a little bit. probably actually do a little bit of that. And then, like this part of your collarbone right here, there's actually this part sticks out, so I'll actually do a little shadow here.
Music is so serious when you're finishing this last shadow boss. This is Legacy of Goku too, I think.
Again, where like her arm tucks here. Probably a little bit here too. So like this fist is more towards the light, so probably this much of it will be obscured. Again, like where the fingers tuck. Probably here.
So you see, just like, it's like sculpting almost, like sculpting out those shapes and everything. And then what I will do, I'll pick like some ambient colors that I want to work with. I usually pick like pink and blue for Aria. And I'll use like a gradient. Whoops. This is something I just recently started doing that I really like. Something like that. And I'll actually, so what I am actually doing now, so you see I have this shadow layer right here, and I have this other layer right here for my gradient. So I'll use clipping on this gradient for the layer below it. So it clips it. Dennis Bypass, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Hope you are well.
But
yeah, so see, we use a clipping mask, it just like clips and it conforms to it like that. So I'll actually merge that down when I'm happy with the colors. I like how you do the shadows, looks really cool with the blue. I can't imagine it with the real color.
there's also another thing I like to do with my shadows. I like to get my blur tool. And for like areas that have more curves to them, or that are more a little less tucked, I will actually like blur this like this. Like say for like her eyes right here, or for her cheek. But I will only do certain sections. So like I'll leave this part crisp on purpose, and I'll only like fade like these little parts right here. I'll also do that with like parts of the hair, not all of it, just parts. And it creates like a, you know, a little more depth. So like under her neck, collarbone, her breast, shoulder, some of her knuckles, and like parts of her hand. So like I said, you don't have to do this. This is just something I like to do because it brings out my drawings a little more. Then, when I'm happy with the colors, I'll turn this layer to hard light, so it looks like that. And then what I'll do is I'll do Control U. It's usually Control U, but however you access your hue and saturation window, and I will drop the brightness down to about like around 50, 54, I guess. And I'll probably like up the saturation like a tiny bit, like probably like around 5. And then I'll bring in the flat color layer. And then I will use the shading layer, and I'll clip that to the bottom like that. And then I'll like probably like turn down the opacity for you a little bit right there. So I'll probably do that, and I'll probably darken it a little more than 50 actually. You gotta tweak it, just play around. Yeah.
And that's shading in a nutshell, how I do it. I hope that helps a little bit.